Welcome to Association Edge, brought to you by Kelly Dando Consulting. Here we share practical advice, smart strategies, and proven tips for leading boards, managing associations, and growing stronger organizations. Whether you're a board member, a volunteer, or an association professional, you'll find insights to help you lead with confidence and make an impact. This is your edge in association management. Let's get started.
Good morning. This is our third episode of Team Talk Tuesday. And today we have an exciting topic, volunteers and how you get volunteers in your pipeline and how you keep your volunteers. So today our team, Emily, Jamie, and myself, will be talking about what we've seen as effective for recruiting and keeping volunteers. So who would like to kick us off? What is the best way to get volunteers, or what have you seen as an effective way to get volunteers in our associations? We'll start with you, Jamie.
Sure. I think the easiest way, the lowest hanging fruit are people within our member and our board's networks. I think the companies that they work at, the people that they interact with on a regular basis, those are great places to start. And then it just kind of builds organically, hopefully, from that. That would be my
Emily, what have you seen?
Yeah, I think my suggestion is grab the new members when they come in. Those are the people that you can get invested right away. They're usually gung-ho, excited to be in the chapter. Get those people under your wing right away, and you'll kind of be set for a pipeline starting out there.
That's a great point. So I've seen different groups, and they'll say when a new member joins off the bat, what committee do you want to be on?
Yeah.
And I think the key is the way we describe the committee. So do we have the committees listed on the website? What's the time commitment for the committee? Who is on the committee? I think those are all important things. If we want to sell the committee, we need to make sure that members know what their commitment is. I will also say, tell me how you all feel about this. When, let's say, a board member calls someone that they know that's joined and they make the ask versus us sending out a form or on a membership application saying what committee do you want to join? I feel like we get way more volunteers when we do the personal ask than when we
definitely.
just get them to sign up. What are y'all's thoughts?
I agree with
I
that 100%.
Yeah, I think it could be, like it's kind of an honor to get a board member reaching out to you. They have faith in you to help out with the organization. I definitely think the personal ask and from a board member makes a difference.
Yeah,
Yes.
I totally agree. So, what is the transition? What does the pipeline look like when we add a volunteer? I guess the bigger question is, how do we keep volunteers engaged and how do we keep them coming back and not getting bored within the association? Do you all have any thoughts on that?
I think that could fall into a membership committee. That as long as you have someone who's engaged and knows the touch points of when to reach out to people, I think especially in those first, I don't know, 3 to 6 months of somebody joining, becoming a new member, you want to make sure that you're getting them to events, that you're getting them to respond to you. And again, I think that personal touch point from a member or a board member is just very valuable.
I think so too. I would say showing appreciation is one way to retain members, letting them know they're appreciated, value their time. I think getting their feedback at the end of the year is helpful too.
Mhm.
Making sure that they do feel valued and are able to share their points of view, what worked for them, what didn't, how much time did they spend on this
Mhm.
stuff. That kind of gives a heads up too for people in the future who are going to be volunteering.
I love that, Emily, following up after the fact and finding
Mhm.
out what they felt like their experience was.
Hmm.
The other thing that I think we work hard on is selling committees. How do you sell committees? We have one group that has a committee highlighted at every luncheon. We
Mhm.
have a group that
That's a
puts
good
up a
idea.
QR code for every single meeting. What are you all seeing as effective ways to sell committees to, let's say a new member joins and they say, hey, I don't have time to participate this year, but maybe next year. How do you get that person involved?
We'll take it a step back. Something that one of the associations that I'm working with does is they have a survey that they'll send out after every event. And in the survey, it will ask, what interests you in what we're doing? Is it the content? Is it the networking? Is it special events, those type of things? And then you can really drill down from there to find a good fit for them. But I think, again, it just goes back to the committees, whatever committee they might identify with is the one who needs to keep them on the burner for the following year. So keep them engaged, but don't, you know, blow up their email.
I love that.
Agree.
Emily, what are your thoughts?
I think so too. I would say the follow-up is important, just letting them know, hey, I'm keeping you in mind for the future. I think setting expectations, this is what is expected of you, doing that from the beginning, will keep people more engaged too, and also following the expectations that you set.
Well, and I have to say, from what I've seen over 20 years of experience, the volunteers and the associations that thrive have groups where the volunteers get to know each other really well. And maybe
Mhm.
that starts with a networking, or maybe that starts with getting committees together, maybe not even to have business, but just to have fun and to get to know who you're working with,
Mhm.
because it really is a twofold effect, right? So if we get those members in and we get them to volunteer and contribute to the association, we also are retaining them because they like being where they are. The most successful boards we have are boards where the board members are friends. They like to hang
Mhm.
out. They like to come to
Yeah.
meetings to talk to each other. Is that what you all are seeing?
Oh, definitely. I think the chapters and the associations that are the most successful are ones that have that dynamic in their board. I also think something that can be very valuable. I've worked with a board who everyone was responsible for governance. So you knew your term, and when your term was up, you looked for your replacements. It wasn't necessarily one person, but you would bring a couple options to the table and really hype those people up, get them excited about it. And then as they learn more, then they want to become more involved.
That's a great point, and that's so important for continuity. We have boards that struggle because someone has been on the board for 15 years, and it's not that
Mhm.
they want to be on the board for 15 years, they can't get themselves off.
Yeah.
And that's not a situation we want where a board member or a committee member is stuck.
Right. Because not only is it draining on them, but it becomes kind of draining on the board as a whole because you need new people to get fresh ideas and start moving in a different direction sometimes.
What's your advice, Kelly, for when boards do get to that point?
We have some stagnant boards and we've tried lots of different things. I mean, Emily, you know this. We had one client where the entire board just said, hey, this is too much and we can't do this anymore. And then we've had to go out and help them find a process to find new board members. We're actually dealing with that right now with one of our chapters. So I think that it's so important that you keep board members rotating and
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
things fresh, try different things. So the problem I have oftentimes when we're hired by a client that has board members where, let's say, they've been on the board for 15 years, a lot of those board members are not necessarily receptive to trying new things or new ideas. And I think that's when an association really gets stagnant and has problems, because if you're not growing and you're not meeting your goals that the board has set, then you're kind of stagnant. And that's not what we
Mhm.
want to see.
I
Yeah.
just feel like that can be felt throughout an entire chapter too,
Mhm.
right? Like it really is top down. Once, if you have an energized board, then you have members who want to come to networking events or educational seminars. It makes all the difference.
Well, and I think you have to look at the demographics of the chapter as well, of the association. So if you have a younger demographic, a lot of them don't want to talk on the phone. They might want to get a
Mhm.
text message about information. They might want to see things on social media, versus some of our more tenured executives want either a phone call or an email. They want to hear from you. They want that personal connection. I think the key for involvement comes down to one thing, and it's personal connection. I think if you
Mhm.
have a connection with someone in that association, you are more likely to renew and you are more likely to stay. Do any of your clients have a mentor program? Have we seen that? Because I've seen that in a few chapters, but do you all have any that do that?
Have some that would like to start it, but
I do too.
haven't gotten it off the ground yet.
So
So I
one of
mean
our
that's very
groups,
valuable.
it is. One of our groups is really good at tagging new members. So we denote that they're a new member on their name tag. And when that new member walks in the door, the board knows, hey, if we see that sign on their name tag, we need to go introduce ourselves immediately. And I
It's a
love that.
great
It's not
idea.
necessarily a mentor program, but it's a way to make new people feel welcome. I mean, the reality is if you have someone who's younger, they're not necessarily as comfortable walking into a room with a bunch of executives and getting to know people. That's challenging for a lot of people. So I think the
Yeah.
greater connection we can make between board members, and I say board members, some of our chapters have had in the past a welcoming committee. I love that too, where it's committee members at the front desk when someone new comes in. Hey, welcome. I think those are all important tools to get people involved from the very beginning and making them feel comfortable at meetings. Is there anything else you all have seen to welcome members into meetings and make them feel like they belong?
I have a couple that will bring them to the front of the room and they'll have a slide that announces the new members. And then they're pointing. I mean, some people that makes them a little nervous, but then other people in the room know that they're new as well and will introduce themselves. So I think that is a good way just, to acknowledge who they are and that they are new. More people go up to them and encourage them to get involved in the chapter.
We have some that do slides, some that do introductions. Jamie, what are your thoughts?
I was going to say the exact same thing as Emily. I haven't seen anyone do anything off the wall, but I'm ready to. So let's hear the off the wall ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love when we have new ideas and we try something. So one of our chapters used to do a bring a member and win a gift card. So if you would bring a non-member
idea.
to, and this is more recruitment than volunteer, but it still gets someone in and gets them comfortable, but you'd bring a new member to a meeting and the person who brought them and the potential new member would be entered to win a gift card, $25 each. It's a minimal investment, but it was very effective in recruitment. And then the reality is, that those two people know each other. And so it's easier to get that person involved rather than someone that found us on the internet and decided, oh, let me try this.
Yeah.
I think the key is we want our associations to be welcoming and fun, and we want members to look forward to attending because that helps all facets of the association with your attendance at events, your participation. I think it's only beneficial. So any other comments that we have before we move on to next week's topic?
I would just say that we have said members a lot during this, and members are the ones who are closest to our organizations, and those are oftentimes the volunteers that we're reaching out to. So I think, this kind of works well with recruitment and for members and for volunteers.
Yeah, that's a great point.
agree.
And I laugh sometimes when we're sitting in board meetings because they'll say, hey, will you call this person? Yeah, I can absolutely call the person. But the difference between me calling this person as an admin and a board member calling this person is the difference between a yes or a no in most cases.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I think high level, the personal asks for all of this is so huge. I think people can't take that for granted.
I totally agree. Well, thank you everyone who joined us for today. If you would like to leave us comments, we love to hear ideas about what your associations are doing, how you're bringing people in. Please let us know. And we'd love to have that feedback. So thanks for joining us, and we will see everyone for episode 4.
Thank you.